And clear of the...
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun. You gotta give us a shot. You know what? You gotta give us a shot.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a reaction show. The New York Giants win 21-20 versus the Tennessee Titans. This is a damn good feeling. I almost lost my voice. I'm pretty sure I may have had an aneurysm or a stroke caused by all the screaming. But I am fucking telling you, I am excited. I don't give a shit. Normally, I'm going to try to keep it PG. This is raw today. I am raw dogging that shit. And you know what? I don't care if that's Terry Collins at the end of our intro, because that's how I feel right now. You got to give us a shot.
Tyreek or Terry?
And that's what Brian Daboll did. Now, by the way, trademarking it, I'm nicknaming him going forward Brian Dayballs, because that's what he did. He laid him on the fucking table with that 2-point conversion. I love it. Love it.
I can't even – where do I even begin? What a freaking crazy game. You know, first half, I thought we were dead. I was ready to, go take a walk, and then I can come back from halftime, and it's like Saquon breaks that crazy-ass run, and then Daniel Jones throws the interception and leads us down the field, man. Holy shit. That's all I have to say. What a game. What a night. I am with you, Mage. I can barely talk, but holy shit. We won. 1-0, baby.
We talked about injecting something into this fucking franchise last week, boys, and Brian Daboll in 2-6 put those nuts on the line. Fucking redemption day for 2-6, man. That man was angry.
Hey, Saquon said he's fucking pissed off this year. He was going to run through some people. Saquon outperformed Derrick Henry. Everybody was worried about Derrick Henry. Tennessee should have been worried about fucking number 2-6. I'll tell you that much. He was pissed off, and he was running with purpose. You saw it even afterwards. He had that one down the sideline. He didn't try to avoid contact. He lowered his shoulder and went right into it. Something that we talked about when we used to be clapback, that Saquon needs to stop playing pretty and start lowering his nose and putting his head into people's chest, and that's exactly what he did. I did send out the link to a few people, so I want to just bring a few people in here. We're going to bring in on a good friend, Frank the Tank. Because we want to share the enjoyment, guys. We're not used to this feeling here, so
fucking enjoy it as long as we can, baby, because it doesn't come often. Frank,
what's up, baby?
So you're my twin, apparently. I hear people have been calling you my twin. I don't have my beard right now, but
right, I didn't recognize you. I was like, who's that dude with the shiny face?
Frank, how you feeling, baby? Come on, let's go.
God. It's amazing. You know what? This is the first time we're 1-0 since 2016, and only the second time in, 11 years. That is insanity.
God, man, I don't even know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say. I mean, based on this team, I thought they were going to let us down. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting there. I saw those 2 defensive holdings on that last drive. I'm like, oh, shit, they're going to kick a game winner on us. And I'm standing down here, and I'm like, kick, go, go, go. And it just went flying off to the side. I'm just like, yes, finally this team, something goes right.
Is it possible that our luck has changed? I mean, I think Daboll created some luck by going for it on 2, right? He put pressure on Tennessee. They had to get down there, and because they weren't allowed to just go to overtime. So he put the pressure on, and he kind of created some luck there, and it was freaking awesome.
how about that fucking play call, man? That Mahomes, Travis Kelce flip, the Danny to Saquon flip, that was all Kafka. You know that was all Kafka.
Oh, 100%. And some of the, you guys know I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and some of the other guys have been talking about that. Specifically, guys that are at practices, and they said they've been seeing that all summer, and they said it's going to come out. You just wait, it's coming. What a play! And Saquon just ran through those guys.
they were in shock after he broke that long run. That you could tell the whole stadium was in shock. They were like, "What the fuck just happened?" You know.
Yeah.
I was watching and I'm like, "Holy shit! We haven't seen that since like 2018 with Saquon." And I'm just like, and I knew at that point, I knew the Giants had it. If they wanted to take this game and get back into it, I knew they could have it. And God, they took it and they won it all.
Guys, I don't have the statistics, and Mage, you can probably find this stuff quicker than anybody, but how many plays did we have go over 50 yards last year? I think we had 3 today.
I think it was 6 or 8, right?
The whole season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we had 3 today.
Yeah, well, we had
That's
Bobby.
bananas.
I was on with Bobby yesterday. He was talking about that. I think since 2018, Saquon has the most runs or most plays for 50-plus yards. And, you know, you're talking about the 2 runs today they broke. And then, I mean, it's just honestly. So, I mean, all right. So let's start to break down, right? So we're definitely excited by this win here. What was it that you're most excited about now heading into next week's game versus Carolina?
Who are you talking to, me?
I'm everybody. It doesn't
Everyone.
matter. Let's go.
I mean, dude, you gotta change this narrative, right? Why stop at 1? I mean, when was the last time we started 2-0? Besides that, after the 1 Super Bowl, right?
Next week is home, right?
It's
Home
home.
against Carolina.
I'm opener.
And Baker's bloody too. You know, today he lost against his Browns. So we go in and we have a chance to go 2-0 for the first time since probably 16 maybe. Like, this team has the opportunity now because they won this game to really start hot. You know, and I'm not buying anything with Justin Fields. I don't know if you guys saw that game today. They beat San Francisco in that really crappy weather, and he didn't really impress me. I think this team could go easily 3-1. But let's take it one game at a time. Tonight, obviously, is a big win.
The thing that was concerning to me, though, was that this offensive line still looks bad in pass protection.
Pass pro is bad.
That's something that we have to see improve throughout the season.
Right.
Otherwise, there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities for guys like Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, who, again, the reason why he was not involved as much is a little bit beyond me. He did get the one handoff, and he made probably 5 defenders miss on the one play. But I just don't understand why Kadarius Toney wasn't involved. But you see a lot of his stuff, and it was a lot of short underneath type of routes. They couldn't really take that shot deep. But the one time they did, they hit Sterling Shepard for the bomb. He had one-on-one coverage. Then he recognized the coverage there, took advantage of it. But this pass protection is something that still worries me. But on the other side,
you know what I love about that line, though, Mish? What wasn't working, they bailed on it. They were fucking run blocking from the start, and they knew that they had the strength there. They battled through. They made adjustments at halftime, and yes, that's the coaching staff, but that's things that we would have never seen last year. We would have went back to the same old shit, and they knew that the ground was their strength in the second half, and they adjusted. I got to give credit there, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
something that we are not ever used to. I mean, even with pre-Joe Judge, we were always bitching about halftime adjustments. And here we are, man. They pulled one out, dude. They had no business winning that game. Let's be real. No fucking business.
Well,
Completely different team in the second half.
Well, first of all, if you want to compare this to a Joe Judge team, forget about it. I think we would have lost this game 31-6. But it also to the resiliency by this football team. Daniel Jones, they get the turnover on the muff punt. They're in the red zone. Daniel Jones throws that ridiculous interception. I mean, this is why people get nuts with Daniel Jones. That should have been out of his hand a lot sooner if you wanted that to be a back shoulder throw or throw it to the corner of the end zone. You can't throw it anywhere. You throw it anywhere else except the way you did. But still do the interception. I want to give credit because they weren't here. Nick the Wicks in here too. But Blue City Empire Sports had mentioned, did anyone see Dable yelling at DJ for that interception? Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, he needs to be yelled at. He needs to be
Get in his face.
He has to be held responsible. Listen, we are at times the biggest Daniel Jones homers, but after watching the interception, I for a second said, I'm done with this kid because, you know, that was so choreographed. I think everyone to Knoxville knew where the ball was going. It was going to Saquon, and he didn't look off him. He just threw it up there, and you can't let that happen, especially when you get a turnover like that. And you got to admit, the Titans did give us a lot of extra chances than what we luckily we capitalized on it, but we should have been, after that turnover in the end zone, I didn't feel really good.
Yeah, but the resiliency, you know what? They didn't give up. They didn't stop throwing the ball. And not only that, too, the gutsy call on 4th and 1 to go for it. And Danny, with the quarterback sneak, rolled out, picked up the first down. They kept the ball moving. And not only that, too, on that 2-point conversion with the rollout. And again, he put the ball in Danny's hands when it mattered the most. And I think that's really going to help Danny's development going forward. Yeah, all right. He had the one interception. He made the mistake. But how did he come back from it?
He won the game.
And right. He led this team to a win. And that's what I'm really encouraged to see moving forward, too.
And Mage, if this was Joe Judge, he never would have put the ball in Daniel Jones's hand. It would have been, he wouldn't have had that belief. And yeah, you make a great, awesome point there, because quite honestly, Daniel Jones won that game with Saquon Barkley. I know people are going to say it was all about Saquon, but Daniel Jones, that final drive, he led us down the field and we won. And I can't take anything away from either of those players. It was, a great win.
Danny struggled, no doubt. But he really wasn't bad. The 2 turnovers were bad, right? But other than that, he was pretty damn good for what he was given. He was getting fucking shelled behind that line. I'm tired of blaming the line, but that first half was pretty much majority of the line. He didn't play that bad. He's just got to cut those turnovers over, man.
He had less interceptions than Josh Allen, so I'll just leave it at that.
Who's this fucker on the screen?
What up, fellas? You know who it is. Come on, man.
The elite.
You know who it is.
Our former GM over here.
I'm still the GM of Giants Twitter, man. No doubt.
You're the GM of the
doubt.
Entire franchise for eternity.
So what's going on, DJ? What are you walking away with from today? What are you excited about moving forward? What do you want to see better, man?
You know what I'm excited about right now? And I've mentioned this to a lot of you before. I'm excited about the X-Man. In Wink Martindale's scheme, man, he's putting his hands
Which
up.
one? Which one?
The original X-Man.
One moving forward.
O'Shane Ximines.
No, get
O'Shane Ximines had pressure all day. How many hurries did he have?
That's what we're fucking talking about? He had no sacks.
But how many pressures did he have?
I know.
How many balls did he have? We didn't see that play out of him from a player that went to a poverty school and now is in a system in which players that are long and athletic like him could thrive. I'm telling you, man, he's going to have a good season. I saw it in him. Still some concerns with Danny, just as always. That play looked like it was a miscommunication between both Danny and Saquon.
No, that's not on Saquon. That throws that interception's 100% on Danny.
He stared him down. He didn't even look anywhere else.
I'm not going to make any excuses for Danny. That ball has to be thrown sooner if it's going to be back shoulder, or if you're holding it that long, it's got to be back pylon. There's only 2 places to put that football. You can't wait until the receiver, the defender comes over. But
I think Dave will let him know about it.
Eyes right on Danny, the whole time. Like if he was turned, if his shoulder was turned to him, you could throw that ball. But when the safety's staring at Danny, he throws the ball. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? And Danny's done that so much over his career. Like, he gets like this nervous twitch when it's down to the red zone. I remember a game in Tampa, he did a similar thing. A game against the Rams, he did something similar. Like,
Pittsburgh,
he's got to just calm his nerves, and Dayball's got to work with him a bit just to get those jitters out, because he had an overall solid game under duress the entire game. Our interior offensive line was getting annihilated all game. Jeffrey Simmons was a one-man wrecking crew. But, at the end of the day, man, coaching won that game for us, because Tennessee made some that tight end sweep on 3rd down. Like, what was that? And Dayball coached a good game. So, Tennessee on paper is a much more talented team, but we outcoached them. And that's the difference between, I think, this new regime and the ones we had here before.
By the way, I got to point this out. Blue City Empire Sports asked, does that Mike Kafka wear a mustache when you came in? So you might have a new persona on Twitter now, DJ.
He's
He's way bigger than Mike Kafka.
He is, but
Way more Jack, I
I
should
can
say. Way
see
more
it. I
Jack.
can see it. You got Mark Herzlich a lot.
Mark Herzlich, I've heard that before. You know, I get a lot of Brad Pitt and
Yeah, okay. Moving on, but I'll tell you, the one thing that really upset me, or I mean, if I have one concern moving forward, it's this defense, man. This defense. I mean, how many times were they penalized on that last drive alone when we needed a stop? I mean, Darnay Holmes with the holding call. Calicio, I think, had a defensive holding call as well. Then you got Darnay Holmes that give up that big play to Kenny Phillips. It's like, fuck. Like, I mean, seemingly the offense is moving the ball, which is something that we haven't seen last year. I know we talked about this before, but Frank hates when I repeat myself. But the offense is one thing that I wasn't going to be concerned about this year moving forward. I was more concerned about the defense. I thought that the offense would find itself under this system, under Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka. But I'm hoping it looks different when we get Aziz and Thibodeau back. But, man, right now it does not look good. They give up a lot of big chunk yards.
Let's be real. Tennessee is that's not a great passing offense. That's not a star-studded wide receiver core. What would they say? 3 rookies were starting, and the other guy had the most receptions on the team, and he had 70 career receptions. So, I mean, that isn't anywhere close to the best wide receiver core we're going to see. Robinson definitely struggled a bit, but we knew that. We knew that this defense was going to be a little
Did Robinson struggle? I thought he played pretty well. I didn't see
I thought so too.
I didn't see any spots where he was terrible.
In the first half, he was struggling a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't remember them calling his name much, so that's the only reason I'm saying that. I don't. Obviously, we don't have all 22 when we're watching the game, so it didn't seem like they were going after him. They were targeting the middle of the field. They were going after the linebackers. They were, freaking their backup running back was eating Tay Crowder's shorts.
Did Derrick Henry even get 100 yards? Because one big win for the Giants was that they were able to pretty much contain him. Everyone was talking about how Derrick Henry was going to come in and run us over. We for the most part, contained him. And I think that was one of the keys to this victory. We had to do that. And we did. And, they just did not have the horses to kill us with their wide receivers. But that's going forward, like you guys are saying, it's going to be a concern and it needs to be addressed.
The way the first half ended, I thought Derrick Henry was going to have 100 yards in the second half. But, I mean, they came out and they shut him down. I was stunned the way that – he probably only had about 20 or 30 yards in the second half.
Yo, Richie James.
Him a bit, man, with that hit. That hit was probably the hit of the week. That Tay Crowder on Henry hit.
Tay laid him out, yeah.
That's going to be in the highlights. That'll be circulating around the Twitterverse for a bit.
Tay struggled hard, though, today.
Coverage. He doesn't play well in space, and he doesn't have
He's great downhill, man. He's great downhill, but
he's athletic as hell, man. He gets up when he's blitzing and the quarterback is throwing the ball. I mean, he's like 4 feet off the ground. Every time they showed Tannehill throwing a pass, Tay Crowder was like 4 feet off the ground trying to block it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Richie James, man?
I kind of forget what the play was with Tay Crowder, but Tay Crowder on a pass over the middle had his back completely friggin' turned to the quarterback, and Tannehill still had the ball. It's like you just can't do that, especially not as a member of the defensive unit. Like he just friggin' looked lost in coverage. And again, there's nothing that we can really do about it now, but that's where I think adding a guy like Jalen Smith, who's out there still in free agency, has good coverage grades, maybe not so great everywhere else, but he's a good tackler, good coverage linebacker. I think he would have done well in Wink's system. He's still out there, so I guess apparently a lot more people just feel like I guess he's not worth picking up.
Was Micah McFadden out there at all? I didn't see him at all on the field.
I didn't see Micah at all either myself.
No.
Yeah, you got to wonder. I felt when I was watching the game, I felt he'd be a little more athletic, and perhaps if he's actually on the field, he could help with it. Because they were getting killed, like you said, they were getting killed, laterally on the sidelines. They just didn't have the athletes out there to cover. know.
Yeah, it absolutely sucks. You can tell that, with Beavers in, this probably would have been a much better defense, a much better coverage linebacking core. But, I mean, they're just getting their ass handed out there, too. And Calicho got called for a penalty as well. It's just –
Bleacher, he did have 2 tackles for a loss, though. I mean,
yeah, but the other thing is, too, and we couldn't really get to Tannehill. Every time we got to Tannehill, it was like we were always a tad late.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to jump back to GG's
Oh, good.
point
I'm glad I brought it up then.
on X-Man, but replace X-Man with Tibbs and Ojulari, and you might be getting a little bit more pressure there, man. That one extra step that Tibbs can give us that X-Man can't give us could have been a sack today. We were close. You're right. X-Man did play well, but I mean, I think adding those 2 guys back, I mean, I just imagine with them on the field today.
I'm holding them.
Game.
I'm holding them out.
Agreed.
I'm not playing them next week. I want them 100% against Dallas. At this
I don't
point,
blame you.
At this point, winning the first game, that puts us in a really good position. I mean, I think with what we have, we should be very competitive next week. And then you have hopefully have Tibbs, at least Tibbs back, and maybe Aziz back as well for that Monday night game. We should be ready to go. But let's see what happens this week.
Fellas, I don't want to put my tin hat on here. However, we played the AFC South division winner on the road.
You do realize that's not made of tin, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Why were we only 5.5 point underdogs as a 4-13 team going into? Was Tennessee the number 1 seed in the AFC last year?
I believe they were.
I mean, they lost a lot. Between
AJ Brown was a big loss.
Julio Jones.
Julio didn't really do much last year.
Harold Landry. I mean, they lost quite a bit, but I didn't think Henry looked. He looked slow. I don't know what you guys thought. I don't think he.
Well, he hasn't been like full go all summer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For anybody that watched Tanner's channel last night, Tanner had a roundtable before the week 1. And that was some of the things I talked about too, Frank, was, a lot of they were concerned about Derrick Henry, but this is his first game action. He didn't play all preseason. Once you get hit the first, couple of times, it's a little bit different. It takes players a couple of weeks to get back into the groove of things, though. So, what's up, Rocco? I don't know what your dog's name is, but Rocco seems fit. All right, Rocco, it is.
Grow the beard back. CG, grow the beard back, Tab is saying.
I have a story. I have to explain why the beard's gone, okay? So
all right, yeah, forget football. Let's talk about the beard.
No, the beard. So there was a contest I actually entered, the Steve Bartman lookalike contest. So I had to shave the beard for it. So you got to understand, I'm going to try to grow it back. It usually takes me about a week. So, it'll be back. Just keep watching. Let your friends know.
Thank you, Tap. Thank you.
There was a what contest?
A Steve Bartman lookalike contest. The glasses.
You kind of do look like Steve Bartman a little bit.
I
got a little Cubs hat on, and
I had a Cubs hat.
Who is Steve Bartman? Who is this you speak?
You don't know who Steve Bartman is? The
I
guy,
do
2003. The guy who's trying to catch the ball.
Man. I bet Frank doesn't know either.
Watch on ESPN. There's like a 30 for 30.
They don't like baseball, bro. They're anti-baseball.
Yankee Stadium.
I'm not anti-baseball.
No, it was at Wrigley Field. I live in the Midwest.
I'm not anti-baseball.
A Cubs guy wearing his Walkman, listening to the game while he steals a home run.
Yeah, I remember that.
In the playoffs, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
Can we talk about Tony for a minute? Because you brought it up earlier, Mage, and
well, we can talk about Tony, and then Murph wanted to talk about James too, so we'll stick with the.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to bring my 2 cents. It felt like they're bringing him in slowly because he hasn't practiced, and they were kind of picking their shots where they wanted to use him. What do you guys think about it? Do you think he really was not out there for some other reason?
I think he doesn't know the playbook. I think this is the same issue with Judge. I think it's the same issue right now with Dable. He doesn't know the playbook. And if you notice, he wasn't put in really. They only put him in for like a gadget play or two. Yeah. He doesn't know the playbook, and that's been his issue. I don't know if it's a study issue or it's just he's not applying himself. But at least that's my perspective. It seems like he doesn't know the playbook, and that's why he's not on the field.
Which is crazy because our lovely beat had reported earlier this week how dialed in he had become and sitting next to Daniel in his locker in the locker room. And I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
man.
why.
I mean, it's either what you guys are saying, or we're gonna find out he was like late to something this morning and was disciplined. I don't know. It really sucks though because we needed a spark on offense. Obviously, we had Saquon, but he comes in the game and makes a play immediately, and then you don't see him again, which really, really hurts, dude, because he's our first round pick.
And he's
his ability to make defenders miss is ridiculous.
Insane.
I mean, it's not like we got some other wide receivers lighting the world on fire besides my boy Richie James, but like we need it.
Who is our best punt returner that we've had since? I don't know. I mean,
Hickson,
definitely Dwayne Harris, but
Hickson.
Probably Hickson, yeah.
But also, damn, dude, he was fucking heads up at wide receiver today. Too.
He played well, yeah.
High IQ plays, especially with the way
he did drop that
one
third down pass though too, but
this is not the best ball.
What happened to Wandell?
He put it where only James could get it. No excuses.
What happened to Wandell? I have a question about that.
That's concerning. We don't know. I don't know unless y'all know.
No, but it was only reported as a knee injury, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that one catch he had. He got kind of rolled up funny. It looked like his legs were kind of, folded up under him, but it didn't look bad. It wasn't like a non-contact thing, so could be like he, sprained his ankle or mildly. I don't know.
All right, so
talk about the Andy Reid trickery real quick. I can't remember if it was the touchdown.
1 second, DJ, before you go into that. So just sticking with the wide receivers real quick. So we have Richie James active, Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sills was in there on a play, and then Kenny Golladay. Did it make sense to inactivate Darius Slayton then?
No. They missed him. I mean, they could have used his vertical stretch ability.
I agree.
I mean, he should have been. I mean, Sills didn't do anything.
You're going to predicate an offense off of spacing.
I think the problem is he doesn't play specials. If they have to choose between him and James or him and Sills, they're going to pick the guys that play specials.
Deactivate Brightwell or something. Or
Brightwell's a kick returner.
Yeah, but you're telling me James can't do that?
Well, I'm sure he can.
I mean, and how many kicks went into the back of the end zone?
But I think Brightwell's on every special teams too. Like he's on the punt team, the punt return team.
For me, I'm sorry. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit on special teams to actually get this offense to open up the way that I wanted to. This offense is obviously predicated on spacing. They want to get these guys like Wan'Dale, Kadarius Toney space underneath to work. I mean, shit. Yeah, is Saquon out there? You don't think Saquon would have benefited from some spacing today? I mean, obviously, not Kadarius Toney. Kenny Golladay is not taking anybody deep. He's not creating depth on this field.
Yeah,
you kind of need a guy like Darius Slayton. I don't understand making him inactive. I just don't.
They need. You saw with Shepard. You saw the touchdown. The Giants need to take.
We also had Shepard active.
I mean, they need to take more deep shots, and that's the one thing today I was kind of I didn't feel good about was there was I think one deep shot the entire game. Let's take more deep shots because everyone's expecting a run, everyone's expecting a short pass. Let's take some shots over the top, and that could be because Slayton wasn't there and they just didn't have the people.
No, that's a good point. It's a really good point.
Pretty crazy that Shepard's back. I mean, like it's pretty nuts.
You look good
full
too,
speed
man.
out there.
Yeah, snap count seemed a little limited, but however, when he was out there, he definitely looked a bit spry.
Well, I was talking to Tanner yesterday about that too. I mean, honestly, with Shepard and Wan'Dale, I would probably use Wan'Dale in between the 20s, and I would bring Shepard in red zone packages because he's trusted by Danny, and not only that too, he has a really good catch ratio. So once you get down there in the red zone, I would probably use Shepard, where a guy like Wan'Dale, who's 5'8", might get lost in traffic when all of a sudden it gets that close. But I would use Wan'Dale in between the 20s and sub him out and use Shepard in red zone packages.
Breida didn't do bad either today. You're talking about Saquon, but Breida, I hadn't seen much of him in the preseason, and he was a good change of pace. And
I was
don't
surprised they were
like
running
the
him
way-
between the tackles.
Yeah.
Lightning quick. You could just see his burst, like the second he gets the ball. He's very fast.
Well,
Very
and
fast.
we were questioning his spot on the roster last week, and I mean,
I told you all he's making the roster, man. He's averaged 5 yards a carry in the NFL.
no. We knew he made the roster, but we were kind of confused why, since we hadn't seen him, he hadn't practiced. But that's why coaching knows best, right? We don't
Was
know
Antonio
shit.
Williams inactive today too, or no?
Yeah, he is inactive.
Yeah, I didn't remember who all the inactives were. Yeah, DJ, you had a point that you wanted to bring up.
No, I don't remember if it was the touchdown or the 2-point conversion where we had the shovel pass, but that was like that was the touchdown.
Yeah,
That was right out of the Andy Reid playbook that Kafka brought over. That was a Mahomes to Tyreek Hill type of play. And I'm just enjoying seeing that type of creativity with the offense versus the sterile Jason Garrett thing we dealt with over the past 2 years. It's refreshing, and I think if Danny can get on board with not taking himself too seriously, I think he could be like what do y'all think Danny's ceiling is? Like, do you think it's top 16? Do you think it's top 10? Like,
Are we really going there?
I'm just asking, I mean, we're watching the games. This is the fourth year now. I get frustrated, like at some of his trepidation.
Pull up Matt's comment.
I'm not sure if I should, because
You
if I
should,
do,
fuck it.
it's gonna be there forever.
Sorry, dude. Making babies. Yeah, I wish I could-
Matt. love
that's
you,
the
man.
first I've heard of him all day, actually, since the game started.
I think he actually tweeted that after the game.
There's gonna be a lot of babies in June next year. That's all I can say after tonight.
Dude.
No, but the Daniel Jones thing, how I see this with him, he gets in his head. Okay, today, for the most part, he had a really good game, except for his boneheaded interception. And the strip sack wasn't his fault. I mean, I think it was Azudu who got ran over, on that play. So, I mean, if he can just manage the game and stay out of his own way, I think he could be a top 12 quarterback. But, like, today was a big test. He had to win today in my mind, and he did. So, let's just see.
That's a good point.
Let's see how he does. I mean, let's see how he does the next couple of games and revisit.
What were his final stats, Mage?
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
I mean, he
Who,
was
Danny?
pretty
Not many
darn
incompletions.
accurate.
Who,
Weren't
Danny?
many incompletions.
Danny was 17 for 21, 188, 2 TDs, 1 interception, 25 on the ground on 6 carries.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
again, the two turn, the strip sack and the
Drop.
interception were really bad, but he was pretty fucking serviceable all day long, man, for what he was
Three
getting thrown
incompletions.
at him. I mean, that fucking Jeffrey Simmons is no joke, dude. Like,
No.
I said it last week. He's the second best interior defensive lineman in the NFL, in my opinion, behind
100%.
Aaron Donald. And he's getting damn close to Aaron Donald. And he's damn good. So, yeah, our guards got their shit pushed in today. Feliciano got his shit pushed in, but that's a damn good football player, dude.
I mean-
That's a game wrecker, man. Like, we're not seeing him next week in Carolina.
You got Brian Burns next week, which is going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
But honestly, you can't go into next week saying, Carolina's defense is more challenging than Tennessee. In my mind, it isn't. So,
Fuck no.
no, I mean, Carolina's got the edges. Carolina's got the edges, which is, we've got our tackles. I think we match up better with Carolina's defense. I'm not.
Well, and I mean, the Titans got the linebackers. Zach Cunningham's a damn good linebacker. They got the safeties. Don't they have?
Carolina's got some
Kevin?
good. They've got some good DBs. Their safeties and their
I mean,
cornerbacks are strong.
Carolina's definitely going to be good, but what are we going to? How are we going to sit here and say that they're better on paper than Carolina? No way, no.
and the thing with Baker Mayfield is a turnover waiting to happen. I mean, we're going to be home. He has a tendency of having turnovers at the worst point. So as long as you can manage the game and you can control the pace, the Giants should win next week. But we'll talk about that obviously more as the week goes on. But, there's no reason this team can't be competitive next week.
What's the
Saquon
preliminary
Barkley-
line? Is there a line for next week yet?
I'm sure there will be tonight.
I'm not sure. Saquon Barkley was 6 yards shy of 200 all-purpose.
Let's
He
go
was a
back
monster.
to 2-6, man, because everybody hates him. So I hope there's some haters in here listening.
He was
but
a monster.
Who's that
Never
27 guy? I
Dude,
think that 27 guy should get a bowl of pro tonight. Oh, so Saquon, just shut the fuck up, okay? And I don't care if he hears me. Shut the fuck up, because I'm tired of hearing people complain about Saquon's got a freaking heart. He was injured. The
bro,
guy,
I've never seen him play
fan
that way.
base. I tell you, man. Just
I never
CG, you have a problem with Will? Is that what you're saying?
I have a problem with anyone who can't watch football and understand talent.
Yo.
And I don't care who the hell it is.
I'm not gonna waste my time on dipshit Will. Saquon was a mean man today, and I've never seen that in him. I never seen that man run like that, running forward, literally giving 110%, pass blocking. I've never seen his performance. I'm not even in college. I mean, he was a beast in college, and I've never seen that man run like a bell cow today.
No, he had a
Fucking
different
true
look in his
bell
eye
cow.
today.
He was angry, and if he could keep that up, man, and stay healthy, that dude is going to be back.
The story.
He was pissed off today.
He looked at the opposing sideline and he saw Henry, and that's like a challenge, You look at the opposing sideline of teams and you're like, hey, man, Derrick Henry's over there. I'm going to fucking run my ass, run these guys into the ground, man. I'm going to show him up. And he did. He did. Saquon had a much better game than Derrick Henry.
This team will go
after that 2 point, not after the 2 point, after the touchdown, and Giants scored, tied it up, or made it 19-20. The stare down that he gave somebody right after he scored too, man. He looked him right in the grill, like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. You didn't stop me. I'm gonna see if I can find an image of it.
I think that was the 2-point conversion, because the touchdown wasn't the touchdown to Chris Marriott or whatever.
Nah, that was a 2-point conversion.
It was? All right.
No, opposite.
The touchdown was to the tight end to Chris, and then
They
the
already
2
caught
point
the
was the
touchdown.
shovel. Then, right?
Was it?
Yep.
I thought it was
Yeah.
the opposite. All right,
Uh-uh.
I'm wrong then.
Talk about ballsy play, though. You think about that tying touchdown to Myrick. I mean, you can't.
I love it, dude.
Sills made a nice little chip on that. Did you all see that? When Sills kind of cut through, made a chip, almost fell, but he created just enough space for, what's the tight end's name? Chris, whatever.
Myrick or maybe
Myrick.
Just
Yeah.
to create that space to catch that touchdown. That's why Sills is on the roster. Plays like that. He's strong, and he's athletic, and he's able to block. He could block the kids. Probably the best blocking wide
It's got to
receiver
pain
ever.
some people to see him wearing number 13, though.
Yeah. And there's
So
still
long.
people who think Odell's coming back. I mean, who knows?
I wonder if Sills would give up his number if Odell came back.
That would be interesting.
Likely. No matter what
Unlikely
we
he's
say.
coming back.
We still mad at Odell? If Odell came back, would you all be happy? Would you be like, yeah, why not? Or would you be like, fuck that?
I
That
trashed.
man-
I trashed Odell really badly, but quite honestly, if he's gonna fit in our offense and he's still a good player, in my mind, he wants to come back and we can afford him, which I don't think we can. Come on back.
I hate Odell, but he can come. Out
Yeah,
of that men.
I'd
But
be
I'll tell you
indifferent.
right now, he ain't coming because he's a
That's
fucking
what I like.
coattail rider. He's going to be on the Bills or the Rams pretty soon.
Yeah. And the
But
Chiefs, I don't know why he hasn't been mentioned with the Chiefs yet. I mean, I know they drafted some guys and they
Yeah.
signed, TikTok boy, but I just saw that as a obvious fit over there.
They dismantled today. They dismantled in Arizona. I mean, I don't think they need him yet.
Did we have a touchdown to a wide receiver last year? Was this the first touchdown to a wide receiver we had in 2 years?
I mean, somebody had to have caught one.
Shep,
Right?
I think Shep had. Did Shep have
Yeah,
one?
Shep had a couple at the beginning of the year.
Beginning.
Okay.
He's like the best wide receiver in the league after 2 weeks, I think, last year.
Him and Danny were top 5 and everything.
So here's the play that I was talking about, obviously, and then when he gets up, just the look that he gives.
He fires the football. Like I was like, oh my God, is he down? He's down. Make sure you're down before you chuck that football.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Y'all see the video of Dabs dancing in the locker room yet?
Yeah.
Dead to
That's
rights
awesome.
in the backfield. I thought no one
He is well liked.
He sure is.
breaks the tackle. Dives in for
Got
two.
right up. It was Fulton he went after.
Giants take the lead.
So Saquon's final stat line was 18 carries, 164, 9-yard average, 1 TD, 6 receptions for 30 yards, 5-yard average.
Yeah.
Beast.
And he had the one run was like what, 60 yards, and the other one was what?
His long was 68.
And then the
His
other one was like
was
40 yards, but 15 yards more with the fumble.
something like that. What's that? That's only his second career fumble.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, the
He had never fumbled the ball till last year, even in high school.
Yeah. Well, he was like looking at the scoreboard, and then I think the safety was approaching, and then the other corner just came up and just jacked it underneath. He was totally unaware of it.
How about that uppercut that Bud Dupree threw on
Yeah.
that one?
Oh yeah,
That
and the
wasn't
gut,
a
yeah.
flag, man. That was pretty blatant. Like that was
That
like
I think they could have given him a flag. I know he's going for the ball, but
still.
Yeah, but he was already held up though. It wasn't like he was, placing dead. So you just uppercut in for what reason?
yeah, that could have been
officials-
unsportsmanlike.
The officials will look at something like that. They'll discuss it this week because you can't be going out in the field throwing uppercuts. That's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly.
Let me see. I'm trying to look for your second run here, Frank. There was a 68-yard run, and then there was a 33-yard run.
Okay.
I don't see any other run over 50, so just one today, then I suppose.
Well, the other play over 50 was the pass.
Yeah, but out of Saquon though.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think the total, like I said, the total yardage after the fumble and everything was close to 50. It was, I don't know what it ended up, but because they got all that forward progress on the fumble, right?
yeah, they did get the forward progress on the fumble. So that's it, man. Giants win. I'm
Victory
freaking-
Monday,
man.
dude! I fucking walked out of. I don't know who was on here, but I walked out of that bar and I was like, God damn it! I fucking hate this feeling. Tomorrow's Monday. The Giants fucking lost. Gotta go to work, and I get a text from all you clowns. Oh my God! Maybe I'm walking out every time we're kicking a game-winning field goal. Is happening every time. I'm walking out from now on.
I don't know if I want to grow my beard back. Honestly,
No,
I mean,
fuck your beard.
it's-
I didn't
it's
wear
like- it's
any
the opposite
Giants
of-
shit.
It's
Or
like the
no
opposite of
Giants shit.
hockey.
PG, please grow it back. You need to look like Frank the Tank again, please. Please.
All right. Yeah, I like the beard anyway, and it'll be back.
I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
I mean,
watching,
it was definitely an exciting feeling, and the one thought that came to mind was that Washington game where it was like, where we had won it, then Dexter Lawrence jump off sides, and then they beat us on the field goal again. Honestly, and they were within bullets range. It wasn't like it was a difficult shot. It wasn't from 61 yards or anything to that nature. He just missed it.
what was
It
it?
was just testing
47?
me, man.
Was it 47, 48 yard?
I forget. I just put the stats away now, but
Not
yeah,
a gimme
it was-
field goal, but it's
it was awesome.
bullshit like that.
Victories are so much better than the losses. But we're going to be back again Tuesday unless you guys have anything else. I think we pretty much just wanted to get on here to share the excitement with a lot of you guys. We'll probably be back again Tuesday. We'll look at some more of the tape, go over a little bit more in detail, and then we'll just go from there. Any closing remarks?
Let's go Bucks! Knock out the Cowboys tonight.
I'm excited to see what they do next week. I'm excited to see, Saquon put some ridiculous tape together this week. Carolina is going to have to worry about him. I mean, if we can open up the passing game, it would be great. So I'm excited to see what Dable and Calf could do with a week of prep after putting, that kind of a running game together this week.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
absolutely.
to the next Giants report, and I'm looking forward to seeing the homie Bobby Skinner talking Giants offensive line breakdown, because I really, while watching the game, I really can't see what's going on. But I saw Thomas make a lot of nice run blocks. Neal looked a little off balance at times. You get all clustered up with the interior offensive line, so you really can't see what's going on. But I want to see how those guys played, and hopefully some improvement in both the players as well as the scheme, because the run blocking looked pretty phenomenal overall. So I'm looking forward to see how we did.
You know what? I know that we're about to get off here too, but yeah, pause. But the holes weren't that great. What it was too was that Saquon just was a lot more decisive at just hitting them. So there was one where matter of fact, I think it might have been the 68-yard run. So it was just like there was a small little crease on the left-hand side that he just slipped in between and then hit the burners, and that was it. He was out after that. But it wasn't like they were creating holes for Mack trucks to get through or anything. Like Saquon was a lot more decisive. One thing that we didn't talk about, but you didn't see the dancing out of Saquon. Normally, he always dances behind that offensive line. Did not see that today, guys. Did not see it. He was a lot more decisive. He made up his mind where he wanted to go, and he hit the hole. So,
jump cut, baby. The jump cut was his
just
move.
to tag off your comment about watching the offensive line stuff. I'm curious to see who was at left guard for some of those plays, because they were doing the Joe Judge rotation at left guard.
Zudu came in.
Zudu and Bredesen. Yep.
Be interesting to see the PFF numbers on each of them, see who had the better game.
Yeah, well, we'll see them tomorrow. Murph, closing remarks?
Dude, I'm in such a good mood. I'm paying my bills right now because it's not going to make me angry. I'm so fucking happy. Just picking shit, boys. Picking shit. Closing remarks. I want to save my Carolina talk, but just kind of shocked, to be honest with you guys. Awful first quarter, most second quarter, and just a completely different team in the second half. Just nothing I've seen from the Giants in 5 years. Just nothing to cry home about from a skill standpoint. They didn't light the world on fire from scoring, but just felt different today, boys, and I love it.
Awesome feeling today.
Victory fucking Monday.
You did say you weren't going to another game till the Giants were over 500, Murph. Giants over 500.
I did say that, but got to build wins first, boys. Got to build wins.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Giants Report. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Victory Sunday. New York Giants win again, 21-20 over the Tennessee Titans. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Peace and love, everyone.